Let's read Oliver Otter's Own Office. Oliver Otter was having homework problems at Alphabetti School. Sometimes he turned in homework that had holes poked in it. Sometimes his homework was soaking wet. Sometimes his homework was torn. And sometimes his homework got lost. "Oh dear," said Alphabetti when Oliver gave her more torn homework. Oliver looked down at his shoes. "I'm sorry," he told Alphabetti. When Oliver arrived home that afternoon, his room was a mess. His whole cottage was a mess, and Oliver knew why. Opal and Otto, the twins, were toddlers. They hopped and bopped. They rolled and bowled. They poked and joked. And they loved helping Oliver with his homework. Oliver spoke slowly to the twins. "Look, I have 4 pages of homework. I do not want them to get poked or soaked or torn or lost." Opal and Otto nodded. Oliver tried to do homework on the sofa, but it got poked. "So sorry," said Opal. He tried to do homework on the floor, but it got soaked. "So sorry," said Otto. He tried to do homework on his cot, but it got torn. "So sorry," said Opal and Otto as they ran off in opposite directions. And Oliver could not even find his last page of homework. The next day, Oliver gave his homework to Alphabetti. 1 page was poked, 1 page was soaked, 1 page was torn, and the 1 page was lost. So Alphabetti gave Oliver a note to take home. Mom and Pop read the note. "Oh, Oliver," they said, "what shall we do?" Oliver had been thinking it over, and he had an idea. He was hoping he could have his own office. Both Mom and Pop did. Mom had her office on the boat dock by the pond. She sold boats and oars she made of oak. Pop had his office near his big outdoor stove. He sold hot rolls fresh from the oven. But Oliver had no office. He could not even close the door to his room. There was no door. Tears plopped onto Oliver's overalls. "I need my own office," he sobbed. "You both have offices for your jobs. My job is school. I need an office where I can do my homework." Mom and Pop looked at each other. Then Mom said, "Jolly good idea." And Pop said, "Let's go to work." Oliver hopped up and down. "Okay," he shouted. Pop bought a door for Oliver's room. Mom made him a desk of solid oak, and Oliver set up everything just the way he wanted it. On Monday, Oliver brought home 4 more pages of homework. He closed his office door. And for the first time, he did 4 pages of neat homework. Opal and Otto could not poke it, or soak it, or tear it, or lose it. They sat on the floor by Oliver's door. They were oddly quiet, and they looked a little sad. The following morning, Oliver proudly gave his homework to Alphabetti. "Bravo!" she shouted. "You have solved your homework problem." "Yes," Oliver smiled. "I have my own office now." But something was bothering Oliver. He thought about it all afternoon. Oliver jogged home after school, and he went straight to his office to do his homework. Opal and Otto sat on the floor by his door. They spoke ever so softly. "Oliver, we have nothing to do." Oliver frowned. He had solved his homework problem, but now he had a toddler problem. Then an idea popped into his head. Oliver was excited as he set to work on his plan. He cut holes in boxes to make desks. He found lots of crayons and paper. Then he put a toy phone on top of each desk. "Now you have offices too," he told the twins. The happy twins phoned Oliver right away. "Thanks, Oliver," they said. Opal, Otto, and Oliver loved their new offices, and Oliver Otto's homework was never poked, soaked, or torn, or lost again. The end. Thank you for reading with me.